Hey guys, this is Chris with the Real Estate Problem Solver. I want to do a second part to the mobile home move that we were doing. We've already got the house moved to the new location and been watching them, do all the setups and everything, leveling it out and putting the pieces together. So I just kind of wanted to walk around and show you what all that they've been doing. On this lot, you originally had a house on it. So it wasn't too difficult to put it back in the place of the original house. But there have been a few issues that we ran into. The old lot had the septic tank in the front yard and the well was in the backyard. Well, guess what? We're the opposite. We've got our well over here in the front, and then the septic tank is actually behind the house. So he's going to do the best he can to kind of put as much of the plumbing back as he can that doesn't have a directional, isn't directionally critical. But I'm going to end up having to bring my plumber in and have him finish it out and get it run back instead of forward. But the big things I wanted you to see is while they got the skirting open, this is the underside as it looks now. They've got the pads underneath each of the cinder block pillars, and the pillars are across the beams, which is the way they're supposed to be. Now they've got a crawler that they actually took away. I think I showed you the crawler yesterday. Sorry. I showed you the crawler yesterday, and it basically picks up the whole house and kind of walks it around to the individual little places that it needs to get just a little final touches that they can't do with the truck. Now, of course, you've all seen if you've had a mobile home before, you're familiar with this little setup right here. This is the anchor system that gets put into the ground and wrapped around the beam, and it's supposed to go over the top like it's doing here. And I've checked this out. I've done some research, so I've been watching them and checking behind them, being a real pain in the butt to them. But it's okay because I'm the one investing the money. But they're anchoring it down this way, and actually this house came with a different kind of anchoring system. It's called a pan stabilizer system. And I've never seen it before, so I did some research, and there's actually not much research on it. But I'm going to show it to you now. Now, over here on the other side, they went ahead and put a strap for good measure. But this is the pan system. It is actually a plate under here. And this particular one, there is another design that actually has cinder blocks sitting on top of this, like one of the pillars. One of the pillars is actually sitting on top of this and holding it down, and then the brackets are on the edges, which right here is an edge. One edge, two edge, and that's how they anchor them. This one actually has brackets that are bolted in to hold it, and this actually squeezes both sides of the I-beam. So, and they actually raise the house up just a little bit. They bolt this in, and then they let the house down on it. And what that does, it pushes it down into the dirt so it doesn't go anywhere. Same time, over on the other side, there's a bar that goes over to the top of the next beam over and locks in the same way. So what it's actually doing is it's locking like this, so it helps it pushing and pulling. And as it sets it down on the weight of the house, down on the post or on the plate, it kind of locks it all in. I did some research on this. It's actually not a bad design as long as you do it properly. But, sometimes you get contractors that want to take shortcuts. And so far, these guys have done a pretty good job. They haven't taken any shortcuts. And I told them that I wasn't crazy about the plate system simply because I wasn't sure about it. I didn't know anything about it. So he said, all right, fine, we'll just put some anchors in, make you feel comfortable. We'll double it up with the old anchor system too. So we've got both on this house, which makes me feel more comfortable. And since we're here, this is some of the septic line that's supposed to be under this house going to the back, but it actually needs to go down there on the other end where those cinder blocks are at the doorway. And that's another thing I've never seen before. They actually put cinder blocks right underneath the entrance as a kind of a extra protection or extra support. So these guys have done pretty good. So now all they've got left is they're gonna felt this over and put the vinyl siding back on. They've already got the roof, they've already got the boards, the ridge caps, not the ridge caps, the sill plates, lag bolted together. They've got the top lined up and they put the ridge cap on. And over here, and these guys are actually, they're actually leaving the tongues with me. These are the tongues that they bolted to the house to move them. And they're gonna leave them here with me because they go with this house, number one, and two, they're not gonna match up with any other house like it will with this one, so they're kind of it's a match set. So if I asked them about that and they said no, they don't usually take the tongues because they match up to the house. So if you have a mover that's trying to take off with the trailer tongues, don't let them. It stays with the house. All right, they still got to, this is the main feed wire. I had them disconnected from the meter box at the origin, at the place where we picked it up at. But then somebody came behind and disconnected it from the panel box inside too. So, okay. So they're gonna put that back together. Of course, they still got to do the other side of the house, the other end of the house. They got my air conditioner hooked, not hooked up, but they've got it in the location that it needs to be, so my AC guy can come in and tie it all together. And I did ask them to move it away because this is really, really close. They don't want this. They don't want it this close. So I'm gonna have them back it up a little bit, get at least 1.5 foot spacing. And then here is the panel box. The wiring is actually going to go from the laundry room area down underneath and then come up in here and tie to this side. And then the meter is going to tie in to this side. And I've already got a wire here for basic essentials, but this is also the location where the main power wire comes in from the power company. So that's pretty much it. That's all that we've got left to do. They're going to get all this finished up today, and they should be here in the next 30-40 minutes. Now the spot that I've got, I've had videos before where I mentioned clearing out the area around the house, and this actually has 2 trees right in the way. One is right in the back, almost touching the glass, which I'm going to go ahead and cut that down and chew it up and just get it completely gone. And then the other one, well, the sun's in the way, so I'm not going to show it to you, but we walked underneath it a second ago. You saw the shadows casting over me. That is all one big oak tree that is pretty much going over half the house. So we're going to have to go ahead and either trim the whole thing up about 20 feet or just go ahead and take the whole house down. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. They're getting the decks brought over, and they're going to put the decks pretty much, well, they're going to get them close, and I'll put them the rest of the way. And because they did not agree to bring in the decks, but I talked them into just bringing them since they've got to come back anyway. And that's pretty much it. So if you've got a house, a mobile home that needs to be moved, go back through this video. I think I covered just about everything that you need to be aware of. And also, if you've got a mobile home that you're moving out of, you're stepping up in the world, or you're just moving out, and you want to get rid of it and you're in the middle Georgia area, give us a call, 478-273-0062, and we'll come take a look at it and see if we can make an offer. All right, this is Chris with the Real Estate Problem Solver, and I'll talk to you next time.